Last week, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection released their new Great Outdoors initiative. That sounds like a good thing. We like the Great Outdoors. But if you look into it, they're turning state parks into golf courses.
Even I know Ron DeSantis is a tool, and I'm just a fucking cartoon.
To be more specific, the plan was to build campsites, cabins, lodges, pickleball, disc golf, and golf courses on state parks. Now, cabins and golf courses can be a lot of fun, but the purpose of state parks is to preserve the beauty of nature, pristine and untouched, not to plow down the trees and pave over the wetlands. Florida is literally the most beautiful state in the union, with their swamps and rivers and manatees and Spanish moss. There's nothing I love more than the sunrise over the Everglades and the Great Blue Herons flying through the sky and the crocodiles lurking in the reeds. The Florida wilderness is primal and pristine. How ironic is it that the Department of Environmental Protection is trying to build 350-room hotels on public land? They're trying to turn nature preserves into tourist attractions. Luckily, the American public still has some appreciation for the value of beauty, so this proposal caused an outrage. DeSantis' press secretary initially defended the plan, saying, "It's high time we made public lands more accessible to the public." Which is meaningless. They're perfectly accessible, they're just not theme parks. If you want Disney World, go to Orlando. Eventually, when the outcry grew to a fever pitch, DeSantis backed off. Now he's trying to pretend he never approved it, but I don't know, man, you should have led with that.
We don't want to run against Ron DeSanctimonious with his high heels and his bobblehead bullshit, No, he looks like a bobblehead doll.
Even now, he's not saying, that's an evil plan, Florida's land should be protected. He's saying, and I quote, "I mean, if people don't want improvements, then don't do it." Improvements. Let's make one thing clear. These would not be improvements. These would be ugly, poorly run government tourist attractions. Why does this always happen? Why can't we have one good politician? DeSantis is supposed to be the based, Teddy Rooseveltist, national conservative governor. He's supposed to be our guy, but he just keeps taking L's. DeSantis has done some great things. He was good during COVID. He stood up to Disney. He passed the Don't Say Gay bill. All of that is good. Meatball Ron is good on so many of the issues, but he just has to go and be so bad on all these other issues. Last year, he made a trip to Israel and gave a speech at, no joke, the Museum of Tolerance.
We must also ensure that however the future political winds may blow, the U.S. Embassy will always be right here in Jerusalem. That's never going to change.
Well, in Israel, he signed Bill 269. The bill made it illegal to pass out flyers that, quote, harass or intimidate people based on race or religion. Look, I'm no fan of racism. If someone's passing out flyers that are genuinely anti-Semitic, that should be stopped. But this law is a little vague. What counts as anti-Semitism? Who gets to decide? Is it anti-Semitic to criticize Israel? Is it anti-Semitic to criticize the ADL? Some people would say yes. In Florida, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act defined anti-Semitism to include calling the Israeli government racist and, quote, applying double standards to Israel. Whatever that means.
It was hard to ignore in the attendance at the ceremony billionaire national GOP mega donor Sheldon Adelson. He has embraced Governor Ron DeSantis' embrace of Israel politically and culturally and historically as well.
If you start passing out flyers about Israel's influence on America or doubting the Israeli narrative about Palestine, if you start asking uncomfortable questions, this law gives them an excuse to shut you down or even arrest you. We've seen this happen in Britain just recently. The anti-hate speech laws have been used to shut down and arrest people who oppose mass immigration. Can you imagine if a US governor flew to China and gave a speech at the Museum of Mao and took pictures of himself praying at the Great Wall of China, and then, while in China, signed a bill making it illegal to pass out anti-Chinese flyers? Can you imagine the outrage? It really sucks that even our best governor, even our most based NatCon Governor DeSantis, is still so bad on all these issues. That's why we need a third position. We need a Teddy Rooseveltist revolution, a conservative movement that will protect our culture and also our environment, and that will not bend to foreign powers. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like and a comment. Just say Meatball Ron, and that will be a huge help for the algorithm. Click and watch this video right now, and we'll see you there. God bless America.
And I'm not wearing lifts either, by the way. I don't have 6-inch heels. Actually, the greatest moment of the debate when Ron was walking, or Ron DeSanctimonious was walking off the stage. And he's walking like... No, he's walking off the stage like he's trying to balance himself. I thought he was wearing ice skates.